You're the love of my life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Broadcast GG Scrim Nights. We're here with me, Bemi, and the wonderful, talented color commentator and well-executed information teller, Shy Guy.
How are you doing tonight, Bimmy? I don't know how I am going to live up to that introduction. I don't think I'm worthy of that by any means, but I'm gonna do my best.
I believe in you. I believe in you. And
that's all that matters.
All that matters. And all that matters is that we're going to see great Overwatch. It's going to be the Desperados versus Core Reprise. And with that being said, we're just going to jump right into the information with the Desperados. Shy Guy, take it away.
Yeah, the Desperados are definitely a veteran of the broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. We've seen them here many times before, and they are going to be led by their captain and bloodthirsty support and playing the Zenyatta for the most part. It's going to be Pray for GG's, backed up on the support line by Galaxy on the Mercy for the most part. They are going to be joined this evening by the tank duo of Garlic Bread and Pills, as well as their DPS, their star DPS duo of Wolfer and Ultra. A very dynamic duo right now in the current meta. They both play a whole lot of different heroes, with Ultra mostly playing the projectiles, and then Wolfer picking up the hit scan whenever it's necessary, or really flexing onto anything the team needs right now. But this is a team that is going to be very, very cohesive. They have been together for a long time, in at least some form or other, well over a year at this point. Despite kind of enjoying playing a classic dive style, they are working right now on trying to fit into the current meta. They have gotten so used to playing dive over the course of their time together, but now they've got to switch things up. So it should be a very unique challenge for them to try and figure out and navigate exactly how they want to play currently. And they're going to have their hands full going up against Core Reprise.
Core Reprise indeed, and Core Reprise does have a little bit of time as well together. They've been together for half a year, which is quite a bit of time. We'll see on the team that Error and Shadowism are going to be the flex DPSs. They'll be switching from point to point depending on what it is, but we're going to see a lot of McCree Farah, and we're going to see a lot of Pharmacy because the supports that we have here, which are going to be Anarchy and Gory, are going to be a Zenyatta Mercy. Doesn't provide a lot of radiant healing, but a lot of focus healing is going to help as well, especially with that Discord Orb, and potentially because their opposing team is trying to acclimate to the meta, it might work. And they have their classic offensive tanks, Reinhardt and Zarya, ran by the Dan and Sig team. I both seen these players. They're very, very good. We might see Error go on the Hanzo just for the Zarya Hanzo combination, but overall very solid stuff. And we're starting on Hollywood, and we have capture go. So we have a point going on, and this team Core Reprise is very big on control. So we might see a very good proper defense. But what can we expect on a hybrid map from the Desperados? Would you say, Shy Guy?
No, the Desperados, I think, given the current meta, are going to kind of be sticking to that 2-2-2 composition in some form or another that we have seen so commonly in the present meta. The Reinhardt and Zarya coming out from their tank line, from Garlic Bread, from Pills, is definitely kind of, I think, the area to watch out for the most, because I think the tanks in large part have the most difficult job in adapting to a meta change. The DPS slots, kind of, your job stays very much the same, no matter whether it's a death ball or a dive meta. If you're playing the DPS, you're out there to frag out, you are out there to click heads, you are out there to
gather information or flank.
Yeah, absolutely. Your job is going to be relatively similar, but I think the style of play for the various tanks changes drastically depending on how a team wants to come out stylistically. So seeing how they are able to adapt to this a little bit more of a static meta is definitely something to watch out for. And I think the individual player I'm keeping my eye out for on the Desperados is definitely going to be Pills. If he can maintain high energy on that Zarya, be building up ults relatively quickly, then I think that is going to be a very good opportunity for the Desperados to succeed off the back of that.
I absolutely agree. I think that's a very astute answer of you. I will say, looking at Core Reprise right now, knowing that Anarchy is probably going to go with the Zenyatta, and just how, it's easy to go into a grab here because it's such a tight choke on Hollywood. I would say that if we look at how Anarchy charges up his ult and uses the Tranquility to just get his teammates out of a sticky situation, that could, I believe, be the game changer right then and there.
Absolutely. And another thing to keep an eye out, as mentioned before, is that Gory is in his first game with Core Reprise. This is a tryout for him on the support role, so it should be very interesting to see exactly how he adapts. But right now they're going to be making their way towards the choke, just trying to dodge as much of that Junkrat spam coming out from Ultra as possible.
Well, all the best to them, and we're about to see how Core Reprise is going to go in with the double sniper action. We've seen this a lot on King's Row, but not much on Hollywood. We haven't seen a lot of that action, but there's a lot of high ground to work, and it looks like it's going to be done very well. Shadowism is already going to get that information of echolocation arrow just in case anybody tries to flank behind the wall and who it is. Pills, however, going to stop them dead in their tracks, and it looks like Siege is going to trade that out, and it looks like the tanks are sort of giving more in favor for both sides, but it looks like Galaxy's going to be able to pull through and keep Desperados' dreams alive of keeping that point. And the defense looking very strong here, but very noble side from both areas of the very noble ult charge, I will say. And then they're not falling back too far behind. They're just kind of going back and forth through fire. We might see just sort of a Hanzo Zarya alt combination that we're looking to finally take this point as they're pushing through to the point a little bit more, and we might see maybe potentially a Deadeye with an Earth Shatter. That looks like an Earth Shatter right there, and there's both traded, but it looks very favorable for Core Reprise. They're going to go ahead and go crazy. Ultra will find Dan, but that's about it. That looks like the rest of the team is going to go through. They're dropping the Dragon Strike right now, but that's the Tranquility baited out, and Pray for Egg, Pray for GG's is not going to be able to hold on to this team anymore for much longer. They're trying to keep him alive, keep him healed, but not going to be any more. Siege is going to take that down, and the point is going to be finally taken by Core Reprise. Good aggression and way to stick together as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. The kind of the big thing that helped them bust open that point was exactly how quickly they charged up the Earth Shatter and then the Graviton Surge. They had both of those ultimates up well before they were available on the side of the Desperados, and they were able to parlay those ultimates into a big fight when especially that Graviton Surge was kind of the closer there, with Sig coming up huge on the Zarya there to start things off.
Absolutely, and good stuff on Dan for that Earth Shatter as well. We do see that Error went ahead and got that pick. The double sniper comp and meta right now is so crucial and really, really impressive that they are able to get going. And Error right then and there is going to take out the Riptire. I love it when I see a Widow with just hand-eye coordination out the wazoo, being able to get that Riptire. And it looks like Garlic Bread is trying their best to charge up that Alt Hammer. They're shielding as much as they can, trusting the supports and making them work overtime. They are going to give a little bit of elbow room, but that just makes it easier for them to get closer to spawn and also to be able to flake around the 4th National Bank. But there's the grab and there's the Dragon Strike, but the Tranquility is going to come in. It's going to at least keep a couple of the members alive, but there's going to be a good amount of damage happening. Pills and Wolfer will fall up though and keep the back and forth going, so that way there is a little bit of contest going on, but Pray for GG's and Pills are going to be the last one standing, and Error might be the one stopping dead in his tracks if they're able to find a kill at all. Pills finding Error over and over, and look at the ult bank. We got both the ult tanks and the Deadeye ready to go. They are contesting this very valiantly.
Yeah, absolutely. This fight is going back and forth, and now the 3 members of the Desperados alive on the cart are going to be able to push Reprise back. That fight started out a little bit poorly for them. The Graviton Surge came in and was able to find some pay dirt off the back of that, but it's going to be Reprise trying to re-engage here onto the cart, but now Desperados has a lot of ultimates in their bank to work with, but Shadow is going to get the opening pick to give them an opportunity.
Shadow does get the opening pick, but Galaxy gets the opening res. And there's the Earth Shatter right there. Good stuff from Garlic Bread. Gonna at least get the pin right before the Tranquility happens. Anarchy desperately trying to keep this team alive, but there's the grab, and that's gonna follow up again. Once again, these ults are being dropped slowly but surely and spaced out properly to be able to keep this team from being able to push this payload any further.
Yeah, and I actually would have liked to see Pills try to hold on to that Graviton Surge for this next fight, because now they are really relying on these support ultimates. And if kind of a well-placed Graviton Surge, Dragon Strike combo comes through, then those ults might not be enough to win Desperados this next fight. They could really use the punching power that comes from the Graviton Surge, but they're not going to have that available.
There is the grab coming in, and also the Dragon Strike coming in from Core Reprise. It looks like Siege and Dan are going to be able to lead the charge. Ultra will find a kill on Error, so that is one hit scan gone. Sniper is a downer, but it looks like the kill feed does not matter, as Error will just be able to rejoin with the team, and this is just such a turnaround. Like you said, the grab Dragon Strike is going to be so powerful, and there's not going to be a comeback. An interesting call for the Dragon Strike, but it is going to get a double kill. I don't even know how that happened or how they even saw it come. So Ultra literally just turned this game around in just a matter of seconds for his team.
Yeah, that is a matter of just punishing the aggression that we saw coming out from Reprise there. The whole team was kind of flooding through that narrow doorway, trying to push Desperados back towards their spawn, but the Dragon Strike just left them with absolutely no place to escape to, and cut the team off perfectly to allow Desperados to clean up.
Desperados cleaning up indeed. They are near a saloon, so they better keep it dry as they don't want to get too tipsy. But there's enough wall riding for the Hanzo on the side of Core Reprise to be able to flank and gather information and even snipe along with Error. Are they going to be able to utilize this? We have to wait and see. We do see a lot of aggression coming in for the side of Core Reprise, and Error just swinging around that building on Saloon and be able to pick off the supports back there, and that's going to be just sort of the backbone of the team falling apart for the Desperados. They have so much, they're so far apart, and not being able to protect their supports is so crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. A really excellent flank coming out there from Error. Reprise just pulled all of the attention onto the cart from the Desperados. No one was paying attention to that backside of the Saloon. Error just comes around, gets the crucial picks. The first there onto Pray for GG's allows them to push forward off the back of it. Now we're gonna have another 6v6 fight as Error gets res back up into its grab coming out from Sig.
Oh my gosh, the grab! Oh my gosh, they were trying to drop the Earth Shatter, but it's not going to be enough. Garlic Bread was trying to stop that Dragon Strike before it could happen, but Shadowism gonna be able to...
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, this is an example right now of exactly why Hanzo is in the meta. This Dragon Strike is able to burn through all of the healing coming out even from a Transcendence and just destroys the members of the Desperados, and now they're on the back foot trying to hold on desperately to this point.
Desperados desperately holding on to this point indeed. I like what you did there, but it's not going to be enough as they're going to be pushed back. Galaxy will try to switch over to the Lucio, but all these supports being thrown at this point is not going to be enough for them to be able to hold it, as there it is, Core Reprise taking that third point very convincingly.
Yeah, absolutely. They made some excellent time there on the last point as they just continued the momentum they had built up during the Streets phase, got through the second checkpoint, and just rolled from there all the way through, never slowing down at the end. And that's exactly what you want on a map like Hollywood, because now they've given themselves 16 seconds in the time bank, and that is a very important distinction as opposed to going into the overtime. Now, no matter what, even if Desperados come out with the best Hollywood offense you've ever seen, Reprise is going to get another opportunity to attack no matter what. So that's a really big moment for them to get the cap so cleanly there on the final point.
Absolutely. And Core Reprise, they did say in their information that control was their favorite, so obviously they have some tactics of defense, as we clearly see from sort of the Zenyatta Mercy. When you see Zenyatta Mercy in sort of the composition of support normally as the main duo support, they have they sort of have this idea of just being able to hold on to point for a very long amount of time, because they're not worried about spacing out too much in healing, and they're going to be able to get everybody within long reach and like handle two at a time, like a Noah's Ark of support.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you know, even further than that, right now they're going to be backed up by Era on the Brigitte for this defense. They want to, you know, make it very, very difficult for the Desperados to push into them aggressively at all. And I think the Brigitte is going to be a good way to do that. We'll see if it works out for Core Reprise here, but they're going to be relying a lot on Shadow to lay in the damage with that Junkrat. It's going to be the main source of you know, damage coming through for their team, so they've got to be careful about keeping him protected. But he gets sniped out by Ultra to start things off. Gory going for the res, not able to get it off just yet.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. That was a risky res, and now that the 30-second marker is burned now, and they have to wait for a long time. So that firepower is absolutely gone. They have to be careful, maybe try to get a pin, but Garlic Bread's going to take out Brigitte, and Dan is going to go down. You lost a tank, you lost two supports. This is it, my friend. That point is gone, and Core Reprise, I was having high expectations of maybe a hold, but it's not going to be the case.
Yeah, there is not a whole lot you can do at that point. Once you've lost your only DPS member on the team, and you're not able to get the res off just because of the position where he died, it is going to be a struggle to
like ult charge as well. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already up to a Transcendence. Galaxy has the Valkyrie. Desperados are in a very good position to keep this push rolling forward.
Absolutely. Desperados are not going to be desperately pushing this point in this case, and I'm going to steal your pun right there. But either way, Ultra does give the high ground advantage, and there is that Riptire quick charging, but it is coming in from Shadow. If they're able to flank and get Garlic Bread, this might not look good. Oh my god! Right around that shield, and Wolfer, it's going to go down, so that is once again, this Res is going to finally come into fruition, but unfortunately, that is relying firepower that they need. They do have the grab ult coming in with the Dragon Strike, but it seems like the Pills is not going to be able to find enough charge to come in there. There's the Riptire coming in, but Shadow gonna intercept Wolfer's Riptire, and there's the Earth Shadow right there. Not gonna find too much. There's a trade back and forth. It does find Shadow, but there's the grab. Is the Dragon Strike gonna be able to come in? Oh my god, did they literally miss that? Ultra with the misfire. Wolfer does find Siege, and they are able to push through. Desperados, even though missing that Riptire and looking a little bit awkward with it, and getting that Riptire, nicely done getting Shadows, is gonna be able to push this even further, even almost to the second point. They do have one more team fight that they have to go through.
Yeah, but these staggers are absolutely brutal for Reprise as they try to retreat back towards their spawn. They're going to be making a kind of desperate push towards the point here at the end. I did it again there, but we'll see if they're going to be able to make it out of these narrow choke points. They're going to have to try to group up and see if they can get onto this point, but they've got very little time left.
Absolutely, and they're going to go ahead and C9 that second point, or either way, they were just too much aggressed by the firepower that they had on the side of on the side of course on Desperados. Look at that, they have so much of the team on fire, and they have so much of their ults ready and reserved that they've been using nothing but pure skill and aim. It's so nice to see once in a while. I do like the fact that Shadow is going to be switching on over and getting the pharmacies, so it does make it a little bit easier to get over that Reinhardt shield, because there's not a lot of hit scan response except for Ultra, so that does make it a little bit easier for them to do that.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how they play this, but he's already lost two of his teammates. The tank line down, and now the Earth Shatter coming in is going to take Error to the ground, but the Transcendence will save him. A non-K coming in, and now the rally is going to be the ult of choice for Reprise as they try to hold on.
Oh my gosh, they are going to try to hold on. There's the grab and the Earth Shower, a little bit of overkill, but that's the Dragon Strike responding as well, and Ultra will get a double from that. And there's the Transcendence right there. Wolfer will find Gory, and unfortunately, this seems like a definitive take for the Desperados. They are going to try to do what they did earlier and try to contest with the fast support, but not going to be enough, as they are just going to go right in, storm into that third point, and we're about to see potentially a round 3 with 16 seconds in the time bank.
Yeah, and it just looked there, especially on the last point, that Reprise was just not quite ready for the aggression coming out from the Desperados, especially once it got into the last point. They never quite were able to get settled. By the time that Shadow had made the swap over to the far and come around on a little bit of a flank, both of the tank line for Reprise were already down and out of the fight, and there's just no coming back from that at that point, especially with the ults that Desperados had online. That fight was not fair whatsoever.
No, you're right. And like the thing is that yes, it was probably a good idea to switch to Pharah, because when you realize that Ultra was the only one that was able to fully respond to the pharmacy, you could have had just one of your DPSs, probably the hit scan, switch on over the sniper and have a sniping battle with Ultra, cause the distraction, get the flank in. You could have done a lot of damage, but the Desperados didn't. They just pushed on, and they were able to get this point, and it was really amazing that the Desperados didn't do a desperately dire drive. That was a bunch of D's. But either way, we are going to see that there's going to be Core Reprise going in there with that 1 minute. Hopefully they're going to be able to get that marker, at least the first marker, the second marker, something where it gives them just a little bit of elbow room. They're sticking to it. They are going to go with the pharmacy right away. There is unfortunately Wolfer on hit scan. They don't know that, but they do gather the information that they are there, and Wolfer will get Dan, so that's the shield down, so no form of protection except for the bubbles from Siege. And already Core Reprise has to fall back, and they got 30 seconds left on the clock. No room for alt time.
Yeah, they don't really have any time to work with. They're gonna have to make their way onto the point very shortly. And now they've got this kind of shield breaking composition with both of the explosive DPS members, but they're not gonna have time to really whittle down the Desperados. They've got to take a fight right here and now.
Absolutely. Garlic Bread's still going to say no to that. Anaki's going to be the only one finding a kill, but Error!
Ooh.
Oh my god! That is going to stop everything right there. Error getting a triple, stopping the Riptire, and also leading the team. That is also, like we said, why Junkrat is in the current meta.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the ability to come in single-handedly like that, dish out massive amounts of damage, helps to take down Garlic Bread, who got a little bit aggressive right when his ultimate was up. That's a crucial mistake by the main tank for Desperados there. But now the question at this point is just how far Reprise can get this payload moving. Where does Desperados choose to take the fight and give themselves an opportunity to close out this defense?
A little bit of a close one with Shadow and Ultra. Meeting ends at the spell for the right there, but at the round there is a grab coming in, and that just is gonna flank. Shadow is gonna bring it. Desperados are just not having an easy time with it. Air is gonna find Galaxy, and Core Reprise, well, I guess it works better under pressure.
Absolutely, and you know, now there was nothing available for the side of Desperados to deal with this Graviton Surge. The Transcendence for Pray for GG's was not quite up yet at the time, but they're going to have all the ultimates in the world as they make their way out towards this payload. They've got the Graviton, the Earth Shatter, both support ults up as well. This has got to be their fight.
This has to be their fight indeed, unless Anarchy can pull off a crazy kill like that. No grab, but the Deadeye is going to be there. It's going to find Gory, but Gory was able to pull off the Reds. Is it going to be enough to find enough firepower? Galaxy does go Battle Mercy and find them, but Dan getting that double kill and pushing through, and he's just going to be able to save Anarchy. Are the dynamic duo with Seeds going to be able to keep this dream alive and take the third point? I don't believe this. Second point, excuse me. Anarchy going to be the cherry on top, and all you need sometimes is a support and two tanks.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, kudos to Reprise. They kept their wits about them in that last fight, focused on the members that they needed to, and got the big ultimates that needed to come through. The Earth Shatter allowing them to clean up a couple of big picks before those ultimates were able to come in for Desperados was exactly what Reprise needed to do. But now the Graviton Surge for Desperados is going to look to close this one out.
Absolutely, they do only find one kill and Gory. That is crucial though. But Shadow and Dan, they're gonna find a couple of kills of their own. The Earth Shatter dropping in from Dan, not gonna find any kills, but Shadow, they're absolutely ignoring the high ground that like Core Reprise is having. And technically, arguably, this defense side for the third marker, high ground should be in the favor of defense because they're able to get to it so quickly.
Yeah, but the mobility for the DPS duo on the side of Reprise is just making sure that they have that control the entire time. The Pharah is paying...
I don't believe this. And there's the grab. There's Shadow with the Justice. And there's the Riptire, and that's it. In all that chaos, they're going to be able to push that to the third point. How?
I think they might have C9.
What?
I think they C9.
They C9.
They C9 off of the point. They do not get the final checkpoint, and that could come back to bite them. They have put up a really impressive offense,
way.
and they were poised to complete that out. They had that in the bag. They could have had 6 points on the board, absolutely, but just absent-mindedly get off the cart for the split second that it takes, and that's a little dicey for Reprise there.
I don't.
Bimmy is speechless. For once in his life, Bimmy doesn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. All I can say is that sometimes we saw this, like, I remember this last game with like Beatdown Boulevard, and we had like 2 C9s. It was absolutely crazy. And I just, like, you know, sometimes you get lost in the chaos of like flanking and being tactical. They forget that at least the support, like at least your Zen should be on that payload pushing it for you.
Yeah, there was absolutely no reason for, you know, no one to be on that cart right there. there is no justification for that, but now they're going to have to come back and put up a fairly staunch defense because, you know, even given the 2 points that they put up on the board, even given that they got it almost all the way to the very end, Desperados have 4.5 minutes to work with on the offense, and that is a lot of time on ball.
Holy smokes. They definitely made this fight winnable if they're able to go ahead and take this first point. But it looks like Shadow feeling themselves and trusting with the pharmacy. Gory doing a great job, looking like great for tryouts. Keep it up, buddy, as they're going to be able to keep that aggression on choke. And there's a lot of splash damage. Not a lot to follow up kill. All they really have is maybe error, landing a couple of landmines and whatnot. But pretty much you're getting that support fire and you're just waiting for error to go ahead and get that Rip Tire ready, because that is a fast all charge. Siege is at 100%, which is great, but it looks like Dan gonna be able to find that kill, and that takes down the tank. Normally, you wouldn't back down so much because you would be able to find that trade quickly, but since it's such close quarter, it is a good idea to fall back since you don't have a lot of shield.
Yeah, and against the composition that Reprise is running, you absolutely have to have that Reinhardt there to keep the rest of the team safe. But now Wolfer has taken the high ground, but he's got to watch out. Arrow sneaks up behind him and gets the flank off. Junkrat on Junkrat violence. And goes in the favor of Reprise.
Well, from Dan. Dan's going to allow that team to just basically soak up the blood of their enemies like a sponge. And I'm sorry that I made that sound very, very gruesome, but they feel so confident. They're just trying to get this team like so far back into spawn. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and now all of the ultimates are starting to come online from both teams. The Graviton Surge as well as the Barrage is there available for Reprise, and they're probably going to be looking for that to be the closer in this next fight and just continue to stall out on this defense. Here comes the Graviton.
And there's the Justice Shadow bringing it in, bringing it home. But Ultra, holy smokes, coming in, gonna take down Shadow. Gory will get that res, so keeping up the momentum for the team is very, very good and very crucial. So, you know, props to them. Right now, this support, Gory is doing great along with Anarchy, and you obviously see that this is just good stuff from Core Reprise, that they're going to be able to just hold on to this point. They are feeling it on control defense right now, and great interception from Shadow as well. I am sorry to interrupt you. There's a Dragon Strike. Ultra's going to be able to find it and intercept the Riptire. A little bit risky. I understand the gamble. High risk, high reward, but unfortunately, that will be finally Desperados getting the point. Shadow will try to get some picks along with Arab, and they will find some kills, but that will be the end of it right there.
Yeah, Error, the only one left on the point, gets taken down by Ultra there at the end. And I don't think Reprise are going to be able to make a hold here, but they're going to give it a shot with Dan coming back in. He's got Gory to back him up, but they're going to get melted down very quickly.
Well, I mean, it's a minute and 30 seconds. It doesn't go down. It doesn't go back up anytime, so may as well try. Got a lot of time. Anarchy, I don't understand why they went back as well. Oh, well, I guess there's always room for error. All right, cool. Well, broadcaster didn't like that. See you next time, guys. But either way, minute is left on the clock, and Desperados have a lot to ground to cover. How do you come back from this?
It is going to be incredibly difficult, because now all that Reprise really needs to do is to build up some ultimates to work with, get one good clean team fight, and they will have this map. They're going to be able to take out all.
Oh my gosh, the Justice is going to go ahead and find everything. That is such a crucial to hit Earthshatter, and looks like,
God, Dan, how do you hit that many people with an Earthshatter? That is phenomenal. I am just blown away by that ult combo coming out from Reprise there. And a big thing to look out for some reason, Garlic Bread, despite being the only one left alive on the point, opted to try for an Earthshatter there at the very end. He completely lost out on that ultimate, didn't even get to bring the hammer down. And that's one that they could use in their back pocket going into this next fight.
Absolutely. Ultra will find Shadow, so that's good news for Desperados to try to build off of this momentum. Ultra now carrying. Gory will bring up the res, so that at least gives them the ability to flank. Both teams have flankings. Ultra will also find that res. How does Hanzo do this? Garlic Bread finding Siege, and they are swinging it. Desperados is swinging it in the direction of their favor. And in overtime, are we going to see potentially their OT push?
You know, they have opened the door for that possibility right now, and Reprise needs to avoid the same mistakes that Desperados made on their defense. They need to come out here aggressively on this defense. They can't afford to give up this point for free, but Pray for GG's finding the early pick is going to make that much more likely for the Desperados.
Absolutely. Desperados are going to just try to work so hard. Shadow switching over to the Roadhog, maybe trying to pull off some people off the payloads to make it a C9 automatic, but not going to be the case. They're going to be trickling in through that awkward choke, trying to, like, I guess, surprise them and make it harder to read. I guess they weren't expecting the whole team to come through there, but obviously it was a good read on Desperados' part, as they now have so much ground to cover, and they are letting Pray for GG's, the Zenyatta, push the payload. They're not C9ing. Good to them.
Yeah, and this is starting to look possible for the Desperados. They've got the ultimates to do it right here with the Graviton Surge Dragon Strike combo. That's going to be the big one that they're looking for. Error has a big opportunity here. If he can eat this Graviton Surge, then that could be a single-handed way for them to win the fight.
Pray for GG's coming in for the win, and oh my god! Oh my god, hold on, that's a team kill. No, that's almost a team kill. But the double sniper action, I can't believe this. This just happened. They just sat there, dropped the Ultra, just pressed Q, and won the game.
That is, I mean, that one, all the credit in the world on that team kill right there goes to Pills. You're gonna see Ultra in the play of the game here, but do not be misled. This is all Pills coming up with a huge Graviton Surge to just shut down the defense for Reprise. And I mean, we said it when it happened, but that C9 from Reprise stings a little bit extra now, because this game should be going to a third attack round right now. These teams should have another
tie. This should have been. They made it winnable for Desperados just from C9ing. If they at least took that third point and they didn't do that hold that they didn't do, they would have at least tied. And man, that you know how you don't lose any SR in a draw, and you go like, okay, that would have been my feeling. I mean, honestly,
live with that.
They like. Okay, apart from the fact that they were a little too spaced out for my liking or bunched up at the wrong times, what else could we look into that Core Reprise did? Or maybe what Desperados did in a positive light? Because certainly Gory did a great job, and Aniki did a great job as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Core Reprise there, especially on the last defense, they got a little bit too antsy at times, especially once it started getting into the overtime. They had an opportunity to come out and make a hold right before the second checkpoint. They're in the streets phase. They're in the Westworld part of Hollywood. And they made kind of a very interesting compositional switch. They opted to go for a quadruple tank, knowing that they had a Transcendence up and available for them. So, I mean, I think that the idea behind that swap was actually very good, in that they were going to get all grouped together, come out as one using that Transcendence, and then just bully the Desperados off of the point. And I think in theory that is actually a very good way to try to play that, but unfortunately they got a little bit ahead of themselves. Dan went out ahead of the rest of the team, got picked off on his way out to the point, and once that happened, there was no way for Reprise to really make a good go of that defense. And then from there, the snowball just took Desperados all the way through the third point.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was an incredibly entertaining map, to say the very least.
Yeah.
And if that is what this series is gonna be like, then we are in for some really fun games.
50% fat off smart food popcorn, folks. We are in for some real Overwatch. Hey, Shy Guy, I got a joke for you. What's a cow's favorite map?
I'm gonna regret this, but what is it?
Hanamura! It's the next map that we're at. It's Control. Core Reprise could definitely come back a swinging here. as we do see that they are it's just so much disapproval. As they are going to go ahead and run the Moira, which is, I think, a very favorable hero for this map, especially on attack. We're going to see them do the aggression, so this does bode well. As also, we're going to see them just rush to the point, as there's really, oh, Jesus. Okay, Pray for GG's is going to go ahead and Pills, bringing in that DMAT. But Dan, getting the pin and the kill, does take out the Orisa and the Junkrat, which is very crucial. And the fact that they didn't get the damage, holy smokes! Where did that Earth Shatter come from? That gave so much elbow room. They literally are now about to take the point. Shadow with the Diva, Baby Diva no less, gonna go ahead and get that kill. And right now, we just saw the reason why you hold that choke or hold that point, but don't hold that mid.
Yeah, I don't know how you build an air shadow that fast. I swear, I have
What
never
is this
seen that.
game?
It didn't even seem like he
I didn't register.
was in the thick of a fight at all. Like,
I know.
they rushed straight to the point. There didn't seem like there was that much going on. He got off a couple of quick kills, but to build that ult so quickly, Desperados had no idea that was coming, and it showed.
Blocking damage, folks. That really does help sometimes. We do see the Riptire coming in from Ultra, but it's going to be intercepted by Error once again. Learning from the error of their ways, Pray for GG's is going to get a double kill as well. And now we see that Desperados have picked themselves up and dust themselves off, and they're going to do it all over again. And they are closer to their spawn, so it does make it a little more reassuring, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. They've stabilized a little bit here after the shock of losing the first point quite like that.
They were like, what the hell was that, fam?
Yeah, now they've got firm control of this high ground. They're going to be using the Junkrat and the McCree to just completely lock down this area. But Reprise are going to opt to go straight towards the point. They want to brawl it out, but the Deadeye from Wolfer is going to make it difficult for them to get in.
And as we're seeing here, it looks like it's going to be maybe a potential first marker if they're going to be able to get anything. They do lose pretty much everybody on the team, but like there's a lot of aggression. You do have the radiant healing coming in from Gory, but Garlic Bread going ham, and you see that the fact of the matter is that tanks play such a special part in this place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pills and Garlic Bread this time do the work of staying alive. That's what their kind of trouble was on the end of the first point where they lost the fight. Their tanks were the ones that went down kind of early, and it allowed an opening there for Reprise to make their way back in, and they're going to keep going for this double sniper composition on the offense. They need Shadow and Air to get some early picks onto this high ground, or otherwise Desperados are just going to be uncontested.
All right, well, Error and Shadows find the kills, and Commentator Curse or Commentator Praise is coming into play right now, and there's the grab. Definitely gonna get that solidification that they needed to be able to get at least the second point. They are going to have to put up a little bit of fight. Ultra could cause some commotion, but it's not going to be the case. Does buy a little bit of time for them to be able to contest this. And there's the grab. They are at the point. That's a little bit unfortunate. You wouldn't want that because they have concentrated fire and they are able to stop anything coming in your way, especially with such a straightforward map like this. And Dan shows us why a tank can be so dangerous here. Pray for GG's gonna be just absolutely banged up and ganged up by this team, and Error just covering from the back, going in that low cranny, getting the heal pack, and keeping everything alive. Pills and Garlic Bread doing everything they can just to be able to see this through, but it's not going to be the case. With 4 minutes on the time bank, Siege is going to see this through.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, huge moment there at that last fight where Pills came through with what actually was a very excellent Graviton surge, but unfortunately, just due to the nature of the stall that they were in at that point, he had to throw that one out before there was any DPS ults to follow up on that. They didn't have the Dragon Strike, which is what you need to really cut through all of the healing, and when you don't have that Dragon Strike, then the Reinhardt is able to block so much damage with the shield. The sound barrier coming out from Ananke was enough to keep the members of his team alive, and it allows them to sustain themselves even through what a lot of times can be a very decisive ultimate in the Graviton Surge. and it gives Reprise a very, very impressive attack here on Hanamura.
It was very impressive. I will say, unfortunately, just like, I think the moment it's just so hard to respond to double snipers. So if you're not comfortable with the double sniper meta, or at least have your own sort of crutch to handle that, it's going to be also a lot more of an uphill battle to respond. I mean, definitely the C9 helped last map, but this is Core Reprise's zone, if you will. They did say controls was their favorites. This is a 2CP, and that's kind of like their bread and butter. And now they're on defense, got plenty of time. They are feeling themselves at the moment.
Yeah, and they're going to be going up against a composition that is not super common given the current meta. Desperados want to go back to the dive composition that we used to see a whole lot of a few months ago, and you know, this is something that they are very familiar with as a team. This is their bread and butter, as it is for compositionally at least. They want to play the Tracer and the Genji, get those flankers going around the backside, and be a distraction, maybe get onto the point. We'll see if they're going to make an opening, but Ultra falling early is not a good start.
No, but at least they do gather a little bit of information, and he will do that res, and I think it's res at that, because Genji can quickly get their Dragon Blade if played correctly. We do see them already pushing through. Garlic Bread couldn't find Anarchy. That is definitely one of the things that is great about Winston, is finding that Zen real quick. Pills is going to find Dan, and Ultra finding Gory. That might be the opening that they needed, but oh my word! Wait, hold on, sorry. Just looking at the error thing. Shadow, gonna go ahead and demec Pills, but it doesn't matter. You got 2 supports, and you got a Genji.
That was a new kill feed icon for me.
That was for me as well.
I don't know how that happened, because Hanzo just got a kill with Junkrat's passive. I'm not sure what was going on there, but very entertaining little.
Keep your friends
bit of
close.
info. Yeah.
I don't know what to say, but they are on high ground at the very least, and that's going to be able to show that their defense on Core Reprise is very good. The dive will come in, but the dive with this composition at the second point, it's very easy to flank if they don't get overwhelmed. Looks like Ultra, though, does have the Dragon Blade, and they're very close to getting a flank. But Anarchy, the student, will not pass the Master today, and there is Shadow finding Pills, but Pills does find the kill onto Shadow, so it's an all trade-off, and reses as well. But Ultra, there is the deciding factor right there. They are going to go ahead and get the Dragon Blades. It looks like the sword will be mightier than the Zen, so that is going to be pretty great right there. And Wolfer bringing that cover fire that they need with the snipers, nicely switching it up, is going to be able to give that little oomph that they need to get to the second point.
Good God, this matchup so far tonight it's like the NBA All-Star game. We've got no defense whatsoever being played right now, but we saw 6 points, or almost 6 points, from both teams on Hollywood. Now two of the fastest attacks you'll ever see on Hanamura. That was an offensive showcase right there, and it's like
LeBron James's teammates, only they work with them.
Yeah, if only that were the case for LeBron, maybe we would have had more than 4 games in the finals this year. But unfortunately, we did not. And so far we are getting a little bit of a better matchup here in our games tonight than we got to see there. These teams are very evenly matched so far, and a very interesting contrast of styles that you just saw in that last round. The dive composition proving that it still has a place if you are able to get those kind of aggressive plays coming through from your DPS. If you can give Ultra the space to work with when he's got the Dragon Blade up, then you see the results that are possible from a Genji like that, and I think Desperados got to be feeling very good. We'll see if they can do a little bit better on the first point offense this time, probably a little more prepared for what they're going to see from Reprise.
Hopefully, Reprise is going to go in there a swing. They do have 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock, as long as it happens to that bear trap. they are pretty much good to go. They are going to fight this on point, and this is probably a good idea. It does allow them to easily flank. It's a risky situation, but you are with the team, and if you play your cards right, you can also flank with defense as well. Pray for GG's. Does find Dan, though. That's a kill you don't see every day as well. And looks like using the bell as a little bit of cover does find some sanction. But error! Finding that kill onto Galaxy, but Garlic Bread! Oh my god! Showing that the Godfather is still godlike. Getting that double kill with the Fire Strike is going to be so crucial. And Wolfer, unfortunately, wasting the Deadeye is a little bit impractical, but it does scare off Core Reprise, and it does keep the hold alive for another minute.
Yeah, and now Reprise is going to have an opportunity to make their way back in here before Garlic Bread can get back to the point. They're going to take position on the points. Just pray for GG's here with the Transcendence. That Riptire from Ultra does nothing but a late Earth Shatter from... Yeah, Garlic Bread coming in on the flank a little bit, able to get a lot of value out of that, especially when the Graviton Surge follows it back up. But it's Shadow right now coming through with the kills for Reprise to keep them going.
And Reprise, they did. And oh my gosh, Reprise, the point, they are doing the best they can. It looks like they're finally giving to Galaxy. Playing it risky here, just trying to stay with Garlic Bread. It's like, no, please don't leave me. Shadow is just tormenting me all over the place. Error! Holy smokes. You know, you wouldn't touch Junkrat with a 10-foot pole, but maybe with the 10-foot mace you would. That is pretty crucial right there. Siege getting that double kill as well is so much powerful. And now go ahead, drop that rally, get the armor going, and round number 2 to the second point is about to come into play.
Yeah, and they're gonna try to take advantage of that extra armor and push in aggressively. Gonna go straight for the high ground, speed boost their way onto the point. And force the Desperados to fight them on the point, but Ultra's Riptire is going to be the big thing to watch right now.
Oh my gosh! The Earth Shatter still going to go through, but Ultra will find Dan mid-animation with that. So amazing! Shadow, bringing it in, just the ability with Diva allows them to cover more ground, and that's going to be so crucial right there. But unfortunately, for Desperados are going to be able to keep this going. They managed to be able to hold this a couple of times. If they're able to just, I don't know, keep using, you know, Wolfer as that cover fire, and the anti-meta dive seems to be coming into play. It's just looking really good. They are going to be able to flank this, and I'm going to be able to eat my words and say, get this, the Earthshatter is not going to find anything. Shadow's Diva Bomb and not find anything. Everybody's able to make it out of the way quickly, but damn, finding Galaxy is pretty crucial. And once you lose the supports in the second point, that does make everything very, very hard. But that's a Dragon Strike. Sound Barrier is going to keep everything alive. Anarchy playing that smooth Lucio. Looking great. Rav is going to come in, and that will be it. Dan saying no more of this. I had enough. We're going to at least get the first marker, fam. We just need to be able to have that elbow room where we can lose that whole first point if we do at all. There is 5 minutes on that bank. I'm thinking ahead of time, son. Looking at, we got all this triple tank composition going on. It is looking great. Quad tank, arguably, if you want to consider, you know, Brigitte. And this is, we don't see this composition a lot, but it seems to be working great. Taking so many hits, eating it up. There's not enough damage coming in from the side of, you know, Desperados. This dive, while maybe so experienced with it, if you don't have enough damage to deal it, it's not going to work. And there's that Diva Bomb. It's going to get a double kill as well. GG's and Ultra not getting just not catching a break of squishies. And Dan just going to be able to lead that charge, focusing on the pins, keeping the rest of the team alive, and that's pretty much it. You've got Coalescence in the back and a swinging and pinning Reinhardt in the front. You're pretty much golden. This is such a sandwich of destruction, and they're going to be able to get that third point finally with 1 second on the clock.
Yeah, and that is a crucial distinction. 1.4 seconds left on the clock for Reprise. I have a feeling that might become very important very shortly after the Desperados make their attack round. The stall from Desperados there was intense as hell, as all of the members of their team were just streaming onto the point one after the other, trying to buy as much time as possible. You could tell they desperately wanted to force that into the overtime, just wanted to give themselves a possible win condition in the future. But now Reprise has ensured themselves at least one more attack round. And given the way that Desperados were able to attack last time, I have a feeling that they might need it. So good job there from Reprise to just keep their wits about them, to keep a level head during that fight. They were very methodical about just eliminating members as they were streaming onto the point. And it pays off for them there at the very end. They're finally able to clear all of the members of the Desperados off the point. And now they give themselves an opportunity to come out on the defense and put their stamp on this game.
Stay on the game and mail it to Japan, where I always wanted to visit Japan. So beautiful. By the way, this beautiful game is still going on, and we still have a lot more Overwatch just on the second map, no less, as we're going to go ahead and see Dive still going in for Desperados. They are not going to change this up. They are going to keep the Tracer Genji. That does get them a little bit closer to the snipers that I guess they were expecting. But Shadow, with the hook as well, is going to be able to just keep throwing off this meta. And Error, I like the fact that we don't see a lot of shield bashing kills. That's kind of rare, and I can't believe it. They just sort of deviated the path of Desperados and managed to just put them in their place. My goodness.
Yeah, and I like the kind of adaptations that we see coming out from Reprise on the defense this time. Going over to the Roadhog, they have the Brigitte on the offense, or on the defense, the first point defense this time. They want to deal with those flankers coming out from the Desperados, but already we're seeing...
Oh my god!
What a hook there from Shadow is going to take Ultra out of the sky. You know, I was about to say that there was no information for you. There was no answer for the Pharah coming out from Ultra. I was about to say that.
I was thinking the same.
I preemptively caster cursed Ultra in my mind somehow. I've never done that one before, but now he's just going to be making some pokes through the front gate, looking to avoid the hooks this time. Not going to have to worry about it for a second, but Pray for GG's does, and he gets hooked in and deleted.
Hooked in and deleted it indeed. Ultra better not be ignored. They aren't. Siege definitely going to go ahead and respond in their own way. Not the best response you could have against a Pharah, but that's pretty good. And look at that ult bank. They got everything ready, and they're good to go. They are playing the long game indeed. Trying their best to hold that choke, and this hook allows them to stall out, because the moment they lose a teammate, they keep going back to square one. And look at that! Ultra going down to Siege, Garlic going down to Anarchy, and there's that Diva Bomb. Dan is there to be able to protect them. And Shadow! Oh my gosh, these hook accuracies are crazy. If Shadow keeps this up, and they stall this push of aggressiveness with the dive, which is what it needs, it's not going to work anymore. They are now switching over to the double snipers, but with all these switch ups that they're trying to do, it's going to rely a lot more on skill and less on ult, because they have less ult charge than they could ever ask or ever have.
Yeah, and kind of a weird compositional switch coming out from the Desperados. They want to counter the Roadhog with a Roadhog of their own, but Pill gets hooked in and just destroyed. There's excellent focus fire from the side of Reprise there to just delete that 600 HP tank just immediately.
I want to look at Shadow's career profile and see what the hook accuracy is. I need that right now in my life. I need framed on a wall. I need to learn his way. And look at that, charging up. Shadow is just going crazy. Garlic Bread gonna go down and throwing this back at square one. The only thing I could see that could potentially open this up is if they drop a proper Ultra Dragon Strike. They need that to be able to split off the team, maybe, you know, split nooks and crannies, or Wolfer to get that Riptide. Something that just splits up the team, because look at Shadows. Shadow with the team and the triple tank is absolutely crazy. Or a quad tank in this case, depending on how you feel.
Shadow is just been on the money the entire time as far as the timings go. Every time that Garlic Bread seems to drop his shield, there comes a hook onto some member of the Desperados. And you know, right now, the offense just doesn't seem to have a good answer to what's coming out from Reprise. But as I said, that Dan is going to be the first one to fall to that Riptire.
Riptire indeed, but the Tranquility does keep the rest of the team alive. Does bring it out, bait it out indeed. That's unfortunate. Might want to hold it on point, but it doesn't seem to matter. Air and Siege going crazy as they are going to be the tanks to lead the charge. Nice, pretty much the reach. Oh, Air! What the hell? Okay, Ultra gonna fall back. Interesting that they fell back on choke. They could have probably used the high ground on the right to escape a little bit faster, because that wall climb that Hanzo has makes it a little bit trickier. And look at that, they got 3 tank ults.
Yeah, and just very impressive stuff there from Reprise to stick together as a team. Even after their main tank was gone, they still had the off tanks up and available to keep the rest of the team nice and protected. But now they're gonna be in trouble here.
Absolutely. All right, Garlic Bread able to come back quickly. They did not space that out, interestingly enough. They do have Aniki coming in, but there's already a good amount of teams lost. And now Wolfer dropping that Riptire is going to make it a little bit awkward, but Shadow dropping the whole hog. We haven't seen him pull it out yet, and that is finally going to be the reason why they pull it out. But unfortunately, not going to do much, as Ultra is going to be finally carrying this team. And says, guys, seriously, can we please just take this point?
Yeah, and they need to be very, very quick in the way that they attack the second point. They're going to have just under a minute to work with. But the problem that they're facing is that they're not going to have the ultimates you really need to crack open a point like this. Ultra has the Dragon Strike, but there's no Graviton to combo it with. The best thing they're going to have available is Garlic Bread with the Earth Shatter. He's going to need to come up huge with that if they want any chance of taking this point, because they've kind of waited for the rest of their team to catch back up. Wolfer is just now getting ready to join the fight. They need these double snipers to do work.
Double snipers to do work. You said this last time. Oh my god, that's the Dragon Strike. They're gonna find at least 1 kill and but Error finding Garlic Bread, and that's going to be so dangerous for the rest of the squishy, as if they're going to be found. Yep, Shadow has the opening to find the rest of them. Not going to be able to touch this point. That is a done deal, and Core Reprise will come out with a convincing win of their own.
Yeah, and the two defenses from Reprise there are just night and day, given the adaptations that they make. I think they might have heard me talking a little bit of trash about their defense, and they decided they were going to change things up, come back out, and they just completely shut down everything that the Desperados were trying to do on that first point. Shadow hit. That was one of the best Roadhog performances I've ever seen. That was beyond incredible.
I need to look at this hook accuracy right
ASAP.
to hell now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But while I'm looking that up, what were some positive points for Desperados? Because they put up a great fight. Gory, especially. I was digging the Moira at the first round.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is definitely a good, compositional choice on Hanamura, especially the first point that Moira, especially given the way that Reprise were opting to play that, they went straight to the point and were just trying to brawl out as much as possible, and that's exactly where the Moira is going to excel. So I really like that decision, and they definitely made it work on their offense. Using the extra healing that comes out from there, they opted to replace the Mercy with that Moira, get a little bit of extra healing as far as keeping those tanks nice and topped up, and I think that is something that they can continue to use situationally. There are obviously always going to be certain points that definitely favor that style, and I think we might get a chance to see one such point here on Oasis if we wind up going to the university stage. That is always a place where Moira can do a lot of work in those close quarters. So anything that kind of works in that kind of style, I definitely think is a place where you'll see Reprise break out that strat, because it definitely worked wonders for them on Hanamura.
Absolutely. All right, so just a news flash. Shadow has a 54% hook accuracy average, which
I think
really
he might
good.
Yeah, that's very solid. I think he might have been a little bit above his average there on that last point.
He
And
was. His last game. His last game was. It doesn't say what his last game was, but it said his best game is 100% hook accuracy. I think
Oh.
what we saw, I think we didn't see 100%, but we saw pretty much like maybe 1 or 2 misses. I think overall we can say that was about maybe a 97% hook accuracy.
yeah, that was a really phenomenal individual play.
That was so dirty. The Farah hook.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was such a great adaptation from Reprise. They got absolutely rolled on their first defense. The flanking DPS from Desperados in that dive composition just worked so well and was able to kind of pick off the healers in the backline, focus them down very quickly, and Reprise made sure that with the switches that they made, that those flankers weren't just going to have free reign to work into the backline. They swapped to the Brigitte to shut down a Tracer and a Genji if they tried to get back onto the supports. The Roadhog was just completely shutting down the choke point, and a really great kind of improvisation there on the second defense, taking what they saw in the first round of the map and then applying it in the future just allows them to take Hanamura very convincingly. And I think Reprise has got to be feeling pretty good because, even though they C9'd on Hollywood and that cost them the map, I think in part they know that they played very well, at least on the offense.
Yeah, sometimes you can just overplay yourself, and that's what happens. We've seen it tons of times on Overwatch League, so why can't it happen with, amazingly skilled players at this level?
Absolutely, and we've got a very tight matchup on our hands this evening. These two teams are tied up 1-1, and we're going to be going to Oasis to break that tie for at least the time being. Whoever comes out of this will give themselves a good opportunity to take the series. But like I mentioned, we are going to be going on to University for the first stage, and this is a place where I think that Moira could definitely be a possibility coming out from Reprise.
It's certainly also like a battle of the high grounds as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the high ground is very important, and right now, a kind of interesting choice. Ultra going to go with the Pharah, even though this isn't necessarily always kind of a Pharah favored point. And it'll be very interesting to see how Reprise is able to deal with that this time. They don't have Shadow there to hit the hooks this time. They don't have any hit scan on their side. It's going to be up to Shadow on the Hanzo to try and deal with Ultra, and we'll see exactly how that matchup plays up.
Asking a lot of them, but they are already Shadow, near-death experience right there, as they are already going to go ahead and be pushed back by the side of Desperados as they're just trying to push in. Dan is about to lose their shield right away, and it looks like Siege is about to be on 100%. Error as well, being asked to just sort of not mind the Pharah pretty much, and that's going to be crucial. But Siege going to go ahead and reach that laser and find Ultra, and what looked like was going to be pretty much a favorable matchup for the side of Core Reprise. It is. I'm sorry, I totally mixed up the team. But yeah, I was about to say Desperados, but never mind. That was pretty impressive. Siege, I think, was crucial. It was kind of like the beginning of the domino effect, especially with the fact that they managed to find Ultra. So when Pharah's gone and you have no way to flank, that's pretty much Golden Street right there.
Yeah, and now kills being traded back and forth. The Zenyatta's both getting in on the action, and this is going to be good for the Desperados as they push forward. They get the res off on the Wolfer, pushing the Reprise out very aggressively, and there's going to be absolutely no stall here. That was a very decisive fight there from the Desperados. They pushed back in exactly as they needed to, and now they're going to have the ability to try and make their attempt at a defense. But both teams are going to be, very fully loaded, heavily armed going into this next fight.
Oh my gosh, if they go into the next fight, Ultra says no otherwise with that grab, it's going to help out. Garlic Bread says Garlic Bread pitches in, says, yeah, would you like a side of garlic bread with that?
Yeah, they're gonna be able to put through enough damage to get
more aggressive than defensive for sure with Reinhardt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's how you need to be playing on a map like this. You've got to take control of these choke points with the Reinhardt and garlic bread, and Pills doing just that on the last fight. And now the Reptires coming in on both sides. We'll see who can find pay dirt.
Oh my word! How do you Wolfer stop dead in his tracks, and then Error will get picked off by Ultra, but Gory coming in with that keeps the Desperado or the core Reprise stream alive. And there's the Valkyrie coming in, so both sides are coming in with their Valkyries. The Dragon Strike will be, and they will find kills. Siege saying, no, I'm not just going to drop that grab. I'm also going to do the work too. Don't you worry. And look at that. Aniki gets the cherry on top. And I think we're about to witness ourselves a 99 versus a 99.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to applaud Pray for GG's right there. The Graviton Surge comes in, and every Zenyatta's first instinct when that happens is going to be to drop the Transcendence. But given the way things have played out and where they were positioned right then, I don't think there was going to be any way for him to keep his teammates alive. So he holds on to that ult, gives them an opportunity to come back in with that, but they're going to have to wait for Pills to respawn. They get a little bit of a stagger here for the side of Desperados, and Reprise has to be feeling good about that. They get to build up some free percentage off the back of that one pick.
It's a hard pills to swallow for Desperados, but surely they can be able to push through this as they go ahead and get. They do have, quite a few ults in the bank, and they're aggressive in the Transcendence, not baited out. Pray for GG's could be able to turn the tide of the war here. Earthshatter not going to come into play, and there's the flank for the Justice. It will find Dan. The shield is gone. Ultra is going to go ahead and just try to flank around, and they will dodge the Dragon Strike. Is that going to be enough to cause a distraction for them to be able to pick up what they need? Doesn't seem to be the case. Shadow being asked to do a lot, but doing it either way. Ultra will be able to give the clearing, though, for Wolfer, being able to give that double kill. That is your front and your back line going down and going to hell in a handbasket. And that, if not, is anything for Desperados to be able to go ahead and just secure this right away. That is also the reason why Junkrat is so effective here.
Yeah, and that is as close as you can get to the edge of the cliff there for the Desperados. Wolfer, the only one remaining on the point as they cap it up, is finally able to clear out the members of Reprise. His Riptire was the thing that turned that fight around. They were on the brink of losing out this first point, and now they've given themselves a good opportunity. The Graviton Surge from Pills here could be what they're looking for.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, well, kind of confirm everything. And look at the pins! That kill feed. Garlic bread and Ultra just squish.
Yeah, and once again, this matchup is just on a knife's edge the entire time. These two teams trading haymaker after haymaker as they try to posture onto the point. And ultimately, it's just, it comes down to Desperados having the point at the very end. They get the last punch in with that Graviton Surge. And it's just not quite enough left in the tank for Reprise to come back.
Yeah.
And now they have to come back and win these next two stages if they want to take Oasis.
I gotta say, I feel like we're playing like a claw machine because we're going in from clutch after clutch after clutch. It is so crazy that this is such a close game, and I'm so honored to commentate with you, Shy Guy. But enough of the sappiness. We're here. We're in also Garden Center, which is, or not Garden Center, but like the garden, the beautiful garden that is in Oasis. They are gonna go for the team fight. Pills is gonna take out Anarchy, which is gonna be great. No Discord for that pharmacy, keeping it nice and safe, but high in the sky. That's almost kind of the answer right there for the team if they're able to. I'm sorry, what? Okay, Garlic Bread's gonna go ahead and find Shadow. And like I said, it is going to be safe for, Desperados to go ahead and just take this point right off the bat.
Yeah, and, that pick onto Shadow comes courtesy of the earlier pick onto Ananke. Gory had to go back for the res onto the Zenyatta, which means that the Mercy's not up in the sky, able to heal up the Pharah. Shadow drops low enough for Garlic Bread to get the pick, and now Desperados are starting to build up some percentage on this point.
Absolutely. Ultra will be playing a little bit of a gamble unless Wolfer can come in to provide support. They do take out Dan, so they do have nothing to be distracted by. Oh my god, Ultra doesn't even need the help. Even with the pharmacy, Gory's gonna be fleeing away because wasn't able to heal Shadow, and Wolfer will find him. Look at that. Projectile DPSs are just the thing of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Ultra taking matters into his own hands to win the aerial battle there, and now he's gonna have the barrage. Yeah, Ultra is gonna have the barrage, and Wolfer has the Deadeye. Both DPS ultimates up for the Desperados, and those support ults are not far behind.
Far behind indeed. They are trailing in, and look at that. The Valkyrie's gonna be dropped in. 60%. Oh my god, Shadow bop back in the head. Don't even know. But Wolfer with Deadeye with both tanks, and then Shadow coming in, deleting all Wolfer's hard work. But Wolfer's gonna persevere, getting that third kill, and the 3K might be what they needed. The grab's gonna be able to make it a little bit easier. The Transcendence, unfortunately, will be brought out by both sides. So that's either fortunate or unfortunate for the side of Desperados, because now they don't have it if there's another contest, and that is the Earth Shatter right there that Dan needed to pull in for Siege to make it go crazy. They do have Pills and Garlic Bread still going, keeping them alive. Galaxy is just working overtime, trying to dodge, but not going to be the case. Pills will find Shadow, but I think at this point, it's a battle of contesting. And finally, we're going to see maybe Core Reprise get this point.
Yeah, but the Desperados have to be feeling very, very good about this. They got up to 99% there. They bled a lot of ultimates out of the side of Reprise as they, were forced to throw ult after ult into that fight, even after they already had the advantage. And now Desperados are going to be able to build up to a couple of big ultimates of their own. The Graviton Surge Barrage combo is going to be up very shortly, and that could be the closer that they need once again they use that to finish out University, but now they might not even need it on a card. Ooh,
Error. Gonna go ahead and get that pharmacy right out of the way. That is just making things so much easier for Core Reprise to keep this momentum going. That is just so crucial when it's just, again, like, sometimes you can't ignore DPS. They're just so amazing at this stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes that's the kind of play that Reprise needs if they're going to be able to bring this one back. They need to be able to win fights without having to invest too much in it. And when it's just the Deadeye coming in from Era that shuts down both of the opposing members of Desperados like that, it's just that's so efficient for them, and they've got to love that.
Oh my gosh, Wolfer! You're not gonna get the pharmacy this time, but does get half of it. Panicking, though, in some cases, that's the pharmacy gone, and that pin from Garlic Bread will be the sign for the team to go in, and that Earth Shatter is gonna be the last words that they ever yell out. And Desperados gonna go ahead and take this with a clean 2-0.
Yeah, there was just a little bit too much in the bank for the Desperados there for Reprise to be able to overcome it. And then when Wolfer starts it out with another double kill Deadeye, the one great Deadeye deserves another to go along with it. And from that point on, there was just not much that Reprise was going to be able to do to pull that one back. It just allows the members of Desperados to clean up the fight, get the decisive win that they needed on the Garden stage, because that is definitely one where you saw on the Desperados' defense that they were able to just stall that out all the way up to 99. That's the danger with that point, especially on control, and they just completely shut down Reprise on that last attack and give themselves a 2-1 lead in our series.
Well, it was certainly a beneficial Deadeye for a Deadeye, if you will. And I gotta say, honestly, in the end of grand scheme of things, when we talk about the star roles here, tanks, so hard to, like you said, get used to metas very, very quickly. But obviously, Siege and Dan and Garlic Bread and Pills are all able to just get used to this. Basically, those tanks have been able to stay in the meta for a long time, especially with Brigitte coming in. Reinhardt has like more of a purpose, and then on top of that, the Zarya Hanzo meta is just such a such a quick thing, and just it's like just like a quick little simple like blip blip shot, and it's just so great. So overall, I would say though they are key players because they're also doing some of the impossible. We saw some Pills getting Pharah. Zarya getting a Pharah is not something you see in the kill feed every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it shows the ability of Zarya to be incredibly dangerous. If a Pharah floats into her range, then Zarya is definitely in position to punish that kind of misposition. And I think we've seen some really excellent Zarya play coming out from both sides tonight. I think Pills as well as Sig have just been incredibly consistent, especially when it comes to hitting those Graviton surges. Pretty much every single one that they have hit has found some kind of pay dirt. These teams are definitely relying on those two off tanks to make their way forward on a lot of these maps. And I think it definitely speaks to the importance of Zarya in the current meta.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say here, that also we need to think about like sometimes how we can see things shaken up because you don't want to be predictable and just stick with the meta. Sometimes it's nice to go off the beaten path. I know that there was recently a team that used Mei a lot of the times for ice wall high ground tactics, and on top of that, there was also just the quicker to pin kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Mei is something that is very situational right now in Overwatch. There are certain points where it can be pretty damn effective. And I think for example, King Dro first, Hanamura first, both have one very kind of specific choke point where the Mei can be very powerful with that ice wall. But for the most part, you're seeing a relatively predictable meta right now. I think it certainly depends on the map, but you're seeing a whole lot of tank play on nearly all sides. You see a lot of triple tank being played, oftentimes with a Brigitte as kind of a pseudo tank / support. And then the DPS roles are really being filled by the two snipers and kind of there's a mishmash of other DPS that are making their way into the meta situationally. You see the McCree come up very big on Oasis on that last map. There are certain points where he is always going to be viable just due to kind of the range that he operates at. As well as the Junkrat and Pharah are a good way to deal with the tanky compositions that have been so in vogue right now. And I just think that the meta is actually in a very stable place right now.
It's fun too.
Yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. I had gotten a little bit tired of the constant dive meta over the last, I guess, year of Overwatch until very recently, and I'm always happy to see some variety.
I am too, but question though, where's Matorb?
One day he will get a rework, and one day he will find his way back into the meta.
Perfect. He doesn't need a rework. He gives you armor, and here's my thing. Okay, I gotta say this, Torb, if you ever find yourself where you're at the last point of Numbani, and you are going to go ahead and say, wow, this payload is really close, switch to Torb. Doesn't matter what composition it is, switch to Torb, to the high ground. You know where the tree is on the left?
Oh yeah.
plant that turret. Nobody ever looks there, and it's a great high ground hiding spot. And yeah, that's all I really can say.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly ability for the Torb to be effective, kind of in your comp games, I guess. But
Yeah, speaking of effective here, though, not necessarily, but we do see that the high ground. Yeah, we do see that the effectiveness of the idea that Core Reprise is going to go ahead and just sort of give that sort of first initial choke to them, because it does give them a lot more tighter spaces for them to push through. But Wolfer doesn't really care. It seems like the snipers are going to be able to flank this. Gory's going to go ahead and give him that res, so hopefully that will be the only res that they need for a little while. They do not want to lose this, but the double sniper does once again come into play, and it's just so easy to flank with this, especially with the hook shot and the wall climbs. It just makes it easy to get out of tough situations like this when you're trying to go through the initial choke of payload.
Yeah, but the Desperados are definitely going to be relying on these two snipers to get the picks. But right now it's going to be Shadow getting the early kill onto Galaxy, and that's the best pick you can get as a sniper. Because, you know, you kill anyone else and it can be res back up. You kill the Mercy and the fight is pretty much over. Desperados have to retreat back off, regroup to try to make another push at this. But now, keep an eye out. Wolfer is on the flank this time, but it seems that Era has an idea of where he is.
I think that it would be a very good idea, but Shadow already has an idea of their own. Galaxy waits that res, trying to see if maybe that Dragon Strike could come into fruition, but Error! Oh my gosh, just working crazy, my boy. I will say that this is pretty much easy for Error because, you know, when you're at the high ground, there's only that one window, and look at that, they also have the ults as well. This is looking great. I think that pretty much Shadow could drop the Dragon Strike and like even hold on to that grab so they can do something crazier with it as well. They are just like doing textbook stuff, giving it room, but they're still holding on to the choke and not being flanked or overwhelmed. It is a near composition, but Error is, I think, kind of like the deciding factor going on right now. Garlic Bread is working great. Shadow is finding kills as well. Galaxy's being asked for so much work. There is the Earth Shatter, but the grab as well, so it does stop things dead in its tracks. And the Dragon Strike going around Shadows, coming around that bend, getting that kill, and echolocation arrows for the win.
Yeah, and that was a fight that very easily could have gone the other way. There was a couple of kind of ultimates used on the side of Reprise that didn't quite find anything. Dan hit a very nice Earth Shatter, but wasn't able to get any follow-up off the back of that. But now this has to be the fight for the Desperados. They've got the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Strike. They need to land this combo here and now. They've got just a minute to work with to make it through on the first point of Hanamura, and they are going to hit the Graviton Surge, but the Dragon Strike misses.
Oh my gosh, it does find Siege, but even then, that's a resible mistake. And Error is going to provide all the cover fire they need. Gory will go down, so that might be the open for Error. Look at that! Just finding all these kills. It is a hook shot. This is Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man right here. Web shots are crazy. 20 seconds left on the clock as I finish this sentence. And then they're hoping to get first point in OT.
Yeah, and the Desperados are making the swap over to the dive composition right now. And they're going to try to get in onto the point before Reprise can fully regroup. But the Valkyrie from Gory is going to be able to keep the members of Reprise alive on this point, waiting for Error to get back into the fight with a Brigitte.
Oh my gosh, Garlic Bread, that is the sign of things going down. There's the grab as well, and they do find about everybody, and that is it. There's the Tranquility, but it's just brought out a little too late from GG's. And that's it. That is going to be the team right there, gone and done. GG's trying to contest with all their might, but it's not going to be enough. The Wick will go down, and not even the first points to be taken. Core Reprise, even though it's not their favorite type of map, they're going to show some dominance on here.
Yeah, that was just a showcase in the ability of the DPS to kind of shut down an offensive push again and again.
Double snipers.
Both of these teams opted to go with the double sniper composition. They chose to do a mirror composition. And Desperados had the choice to try to do something a little bit different, but they placed the faith in their snipers to win those duels, and just ultimately it backfires on them because they aren't able to get the picks necessary, and then even when their ultimates finally came online, they just didn't quite hit the combos necessary to push through.
When you run it, I have a question for you because you're the color. You're very smart. What would you say when you run into a mirror match like this and you're just like, okay, we're running the run-of-the-mill meta? What is kind of like a hero, a sleight of hand hero that you can switch that would be just sort of the right counter pick? Because like I could imagine maybe Tracer, because that's a DPS that can easily overwhelm snipers. It's very easy to flank around the back. It's with the blink, it makes it harder to gather information if you're about to be flanked by your opposing team. But what would you say?
I mean, I think that the Tracer is definitely something that you can go to if you want to try to make one hero swap. But I think probably the bigger thing is that you need to either change up your playstyle, or I mean, in this case, I think Desperados just made the decision. They thought, hey, our snipers are going to be good enough to beat out their snipers, and sometimes that's just not the case, and it got a little too late in the round for them to make swaps eventually. But I don't necessarily think that they had the wrong game plan, just that they weren't necessarily hitting all the shots.
That's fair. It's a level of outplaying. That's very true. We do see the Arisa, Garlic Bread, and Pills bringing in the Road Dogs. Speaking of unorthodox plays, it is not working out right now. They are hoping that Pills could bring out Shadow, you know, what Shadow did, which was hook the fair, but not going to be the case. Looking good, though. Shadow will go down to Wolfer, and Wolfer definitely going to be carrying that team along nicely, but, you know, they're giving a lot of elbow room. At this point, you want to be aggressive as you can.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a position where they're just going to have to win every single fight. From here on forward, they have no wiggle room whatsoever. They've got to be on this cart from this
Just
point
till
forward.
dawn.
Yeah, right now Wolfer's going to get the opening pick onto a 9K. That's absolutely huge.
Gory!
But he will go down. The bloodthirsty
And the res?
back. Wow.
Okay, that's don't. Man, okay, find you a lover that can res and kill. All right, so with that being said, Anarchy gonna go ahead and take down Ultra. These supports are working overtime, as especially with the Battle Mercy coming in. Bill's gonna bring out that whole hog, demeching the siege of Diva, but that didn't seem to be too overwhelming. They do bring out the Devi from Wolfer, but not gonna be the case. They do try to bring in the kill as quick as they can. But look at that. The fact that they have quick-moving tanks like Diva and also DPSs that are quick-moving like Shadow and Air just cause so much of distraction. They can jump around. It's not going to be enough time for Pills to find a proper hook.
Yeah, he's just going to get shut down completely. He did an admirable job of trying to stay on the point, but eventually just not able to last out without any support, without any members of his team there to back him up. And it's just going to be I think, ultimately they're kind of the spawn advantage for the side of Reprise, as they're able to get onto the point and just slowly whittle down the defense coming out from Desperados, and they take a really, really dominant Dorado here to force us to a map 5. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Mercy tryout so far for Gory, I think, has been going incredibly well. He has shown himself to be more than capable of playing that hero in particular, and on the last map we see him get a chance to go a little bit aggressive, pick up some, put his name in the kill feed for once on the right side of or I guess the left side of the kill feed, the correct side of the kill feed, the one you want to be on. For once. And now we are gonna make our way to our final map of the evening. It's all tied up at 2-2. We have had a back and forth series the entire night, and now it all comes down to Ilios.
I'm at Ilios for words. Okay, with that being said, though, very good stuff from both sides, as we can tell that they are going to be able to just sort of let the tanks blossom here in Ilios. And if there's any control maps that let tanks do their thing, it's Ilios. Environmental kills for and also just easy corners to pin for Reinhardt, and grabs are just great in general. Zarya's just pretty much an all-around popular person. And then Diva bombs. If you can go into Windmill or Lighthouse, that clears out a room lickety-split.
Yeah, absolutely. But rather than heading to the well or heading to the lighthouse, we're going to start things off on ruins. So something tells me that we are going to be seeing Error and Wolfer break out the Widowmaker, try and go head-to-head, see whose sniper can come out on top this time. On Dorado, it was absolutely Error who got the better of that matchup, and we'll see if Wolfer can kind of turn things around and give the Desperados the edge that they need to claim Ilios.
If anybody's going to care here, it's definitely Wolfer. I could also see potentially Garlic Bread as well. Just overall, Reinhardt's great in Ruins because of just the aerodynamics and just the geometry of this map.
Yeah, but they are choosing not to play the Reinhardt for Garlic Bread. They're going with the Orisa Roadhog composition. This is something you see a whole lot of on Well, but not... I don't really think I've ever seen this composition played on the Ruin stage, and Reprise is just going to respond by going aggressive and trying to push up in their face immediately.
Probably a good idea, especially with the fact that they have spread fire, and it's just sort of like, well, Pills definitely will do a lot more damage. There is a lot of hooks, but it's not quick enough. But or not, maybe Pills will make me eat my words, as our friend Vowels would say. The pulled pork is coming into play quite nicely, as it's going to give them the point back. They did manage to take the point quickly because the aggression did allow them to get a little bit of percentage, and they're contesting as much as they can. But I think just sort of playing the waiting game that just Garlic Bread and Pills did, leading their team, allowed them to give Wolfer a nice little position as well. And we're looking at a really good hold here for the side of Desperados. I want to call them Banditas.
Yeah, and you know, Wolfer is going to be, I think, the absolute key for the Desperados here. If he can do what he did in that last fight and get the picks onto Gory. If you can cut the Moira out, take away the bulk of that healing from this triple tank composition, then you're going to be in an excellent position moving forward. And the Widow is going to be the one who's capable of doing that.
Absolutely. There is the Dragon Strike. It is going to split the team apart, but it doesn't seem to matter. Dan will pin, and Alter will go down. That Coalescence is keeping that team alive and getting prey. So, with that being said, they are finally going to have to be pushed back. Pills might try to get at least one kill and contest as much as they can, but it looks like Shadow saying, I'm not going to be outdone, son. Siege is going to help me out of here. Hello, also, by the way, we have a Junkrat. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, and I think a good swap up there from the side of Reprise. They get off of the Widowmaker this time. Not going to go for that duel up against Wolfer, and now he has made the swap as well. They take the path around the right-hand side and kind of block the Widow off from getting any damage. But now Tails gets the early pick onto Shadow, and that's a good advantage for Desperados to press forward.
Absolutely, and there's a whole hog. Dan's not going to be able to... But Error! Oh my gosh. Sometimes Junkrat can be the best tank buster, and there's that grab right there. It's going to find Siege in that leading charge for the rest of the team, bringing the DPSs, rallying them towards, and looks like they're going to be able to switch or keep this point around, excuse me, as both these tanks are going crazy. And Galaxy, I think, is just going to SD and just try to regroup, and they accept the fact that maybe it's just better to hold on to it. I think this is awkward, though. They don't have a lot of great aggressive ults to be able to push back to the point. They need to rely on a lot of skill, which I don't mind.
Yeah, they are really relying on Pills to hit an opening hook, and they got it in the last round. But this time it's going to be Ultra getting the opening pick onto a Nunke. That is a good opportunity from there. It's going to force the Coalescence out from Gory to try and keep the members of Reprise alive on the point, and Error going to answer back with a big Rip Tire kill. Takes out Garlic Bread. No main tank available for Desperados.
Wow, and also that Earth Shatter is just going to split things up and keep things awkward. They are really just, they did their homework on this map. Look at that. It looks like, however, it's going to be, you know, Desperados are showing some aggression. Shadow is making it look good. And Gory, just the tip of the iceberg. Not Desperados, I'm sorry. This is Reprise. So, with that being said, Shadow getting that, Shadow's just working overtime. And with the grab, it's just so nice because once you get close, you just shoot him in the face and just your worries go away. And that is it. That's going to be the point right there.
Yeah, and you know, a really excellent decision making there from Reprise. They, as that last fight is just beginning, they opt to go forward aggressively and you know, push directly into the back line of the Desperados. Dan drops the Earth Shatter very deep in the back and takes down a couple members off the back of that, and then they collapse back onto the point. And at that point, they're fighting the members of Desperados from all directions, and it just makes it very easy for them to get the damage in that they need to. But now this is where the composition from the Desperados can start to make some progress. The pulled pork definitely has its advantages, and well is where it thrives.
Absolutely. We'll see if it's going to be a whale of a time. All right. With that, Pills is going to be the first one to go down. Shadows does get the environmental kill first. Gotta remember that Farrah Boop is so crucial, and now that Shadows doesn't have to worry about that hook and literally no hit scan apart from Wolfer, it's just allowing them to thrive. Wolfer will bring them down, but Siege, taking out Garlic Bread, this is just a done deal. It doesn't matter if Shadows go down or not.
Yeah, I don't think Desperados were prepared for the dive. I think they expected to see kind of a mirror composition coming out from the side of Reprise, because now they are swapping over to the dive themselves. They want to play directly into what Reprise has brought out, and they think they can do it better.
Well, definitely they have. Desperados did say that dive is their bread and butter, and look at that. They are not showing that at the moment. Dan is going to go ahead and it's just so hard. They just, because they managed to get this aggression out early, they have so much like room to just sort of get settled and ready to attack. Once you get dive and your dive succeeds the first time around, it's so hard to get through it to the next round.
Yeah, absolutely, and no, it just makes it very difficult to engage onto the point, especially with the Farah. Ultra has a hard time finding the damage that he's looking for, whereas Shadow just has all free reign to rain down rockets from the sky onto the members of Desperados as they try to make their way towards the point. It just makes it incredibly difficult.
Absolutely, and Dan is just leading that charge. This is such proper Winston. You don't stray away too far from the bubble, and once you got the bubble ready, you keep on moving. It's sort of like a leapfrog, if you will. And Siege, allowing Siege to just push through and let the DPSs also help out is so great. They are able to take this fight close to spawn without really worrying too much, and now they got the dive set up. It's a mousetrap. It literally is a mousetrap reset.
And now every single ultimate is
and look
about
at
to
the
be online from the side of Reprise. They're going to have 60 available, and both Valkyrie's going to be popped early. Ultra gets absolutely nothing out of his brush, but neither does Shadow.
Error's going to go ahead and take out Prey for GG's and does pulse bomb Pills. Pills will find Anarchy, but that's so crucial. And Galaxy going to go ahead and res Ultra. I think they're trying to flank as much as they can, but maybe not the right choice, but maybe I'll eat my words. Gory does go down. Galaxy does go down either. It depends on who has the longer longevity. Who can, if Dan can live long enough, maybe not. Never mind. Tactical Visor coming in. Just, that's always a pain, but that's 99% for Reprise. That's so amazing. And there's a boop right there for Wolfer. They're actually still contesting this. This is crazy. It will finally switch on over because they that res onto Ultra did allow them to be able to sort of have that advantage in flanking and just sort of sandwiching their opponents, which I sort of overlooked in my hindsight.
Yeah, but now the challenge comes for Desperados in that they have to hold on to this point for the rest of the game, and they've already lost one in their DPS. Wolfer is down, so is Dan to start things off, but it's a 5-on-4 in the favor of Reprise right now as we move forward. They're just trying to push the Desperados off at this point, and Ultra gonna have to come up big with this barrage. He gets Shadow, but has to give his life for it.
And there's the sound barrier as well. Galaxy giving that sacrificial res and barely pulling out of the well, making this actually potentially the turn point right there. That was kind of clutch as hell and really, really cool. This is going to be finally the second hold for the side of the Desperados, as they're just looking really good here. I think that was kind of, pardon my language, very badass of Galaxy to be able to pull off that res onto Ultra and then Ultra be able to drop onto the Justice. It was just so clean.
Yeah, it was a really well coordinated series of plays right there. The support and DPS working well together, and now the ults are definitely in the favor of the Desperados as they try to continue this defense. And if Ultra can get a pick like that, they're gonna have a good time going forward. Both supports down for the side of Reprise. This fight is over before it really even has a chance to start.
Pills dropping that Diva Bomb may be a little unnecessary. It does push them out of that building, so that way they're kind of forced to be exposed, and the well may split them up because they may not have full-on communication because they're focused on avoiding that Diva Bomb. So it does allow them to deviate, good stuff, but now they only have 5 ults, which may sound like a great situation, but you've got to account for how they execute it. And they executed very well. Wolfer is going to find Shadow, and that Justice is not available unless Gory's able to get that res. They do go into Valkyrie, so they might be able to get close enough to it. They do find Galaxy as well, so that's also great. As long as they are able to pull through and get... Oh, Ultra! Gonna go ahead and find Anarchy. Z just demeched as well. That's it. This is gonna be their fight unless something magical is able to happen. Shadow is able to flank, but never mind. They actually have really fast DPSs. I totally forgot about the Tracer factor here. And looks like they're able to turn it back. There is maybe a little bit of contest from Ultra because Ultra is able to make it back there, but not quick enough. Shadow will be the wall of fire to definitively say Core Reprises wins this 3-2.
Yeah, and good God, that the key play in the last map, or the last fight there, definitely coming out from Sig. Gets the huge kill onto Galaxy. The Mercy's down from the self-destruct from the Diva on the side of Core Reprise. And without that support, the Farm Mercy combo from Ultra and Galaxy was just completely neutered once the Mercy is out of the way. No reses available for the side of Desperados, and it just swings the fight just enough in the favor of Reprise for them to turn things around once the members of their team got back to the point a little bit quicker, and it allows them to take Ilios and ultimately our series here tonight.
I think definitely one thing that we need to look at is that in this case, this map, definitely the DPSs were the star of the show. As much as I was capitalizing on, I thought they were going to go traditional routes of Ilios, but they kind of just sort of stuck with the things for, like, they stuck with just sort of what was current in the meta. Pharmacy still coming back strong, and then on top of that, they were sticking with Grav and Dragon Strikes. They weren't worried too much about utilizing the environment too much, which is something that Ilios is so well known for. I think that's kind of what we need to look at, is that the Pharah was sort of the winning play here. Yes, there was also the Widow, and yes, there was also Jugrats as well, bringing in that wall of fire. But like in the long run, the flanking and the Justice, even if they got that one kill and went down, that sent the team into chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a good sign for where the meta currently is, when you can come on to a point like Ilios well, where you for a very long time, you have seen kind of consistently that Arisa Roadhog kind of compositions, the pulled pork
Yes.
combo has been dominant there. But both of these teams opting to go for a dive comp on that point, and both of them playing it very, very well at
It was
times.
a breath of
and
fresh air.
yeah, absolutely. It's
It was
not
a breath
something
of
that
fresh
we've seen on Ilios in a fairly long time. So I'm always happy to see that, and you know I will always have a soft spot in my heart for some excellent Far Mercy play, and we absolutely got
We
that
saw
in spades tonight. Like Ultra and Shadow were both doing great work on the Pharah, but you know you always they go a little overlooked at times.
Yep.
But I think Gory and Galaxy as well were both fantastic Mercy players, and definitely when they were in that Far Mercy combo, they were given some room to shine. So I think that there was some great support play from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And bravo to both of them. But I think with that being said though, we had as long as the game could possibly go on, and I was very happy about that, and it was exciting to see. And I think it's exciting to see more Overwatch. And if you're excited to see more Overwatch casted by other amazing great casters, please follow this channel, Broadcast GG. Also, join us in the discussion if you're looking to become a broadcaster, a commentator, or anything else in the esports industry. This is the place. It is the Hogwarts of esports, y'all. It is great. Anyways, special thanks, Broadcast GG, for being able to provide this platform. Thank you to Moirai for broadcasting this as usual. Always a great broadcaster. And thank you to Shy Guy for being cold, hard, and calculating, but with a sense of sincere loving for the players as well.
Absolutely. It has been a great night, and I will just leave you with this. You're a caster, Bimmy.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we will see you guys in the next Grim Night. Goodbye.